Jiang Cici's eyelashes started to shed tears as she continued, I know he's not a good person, and I know this is a road with no turning back, but, just thinking about him, I can't escape. What should I do? Wang Ziqin immediately walked up to her, reached out, and rubbed Jiang Cici's head, comforting her. What you should do now is stay far away from Gu Chang'e, don't bother with him. You're the descendant of the revered people's ancestral hall, countless talented young men can't catch up to you, many people revere you as the saintess. Jiang Cici widened her eyes, looking at him, and Wang Ziqin continued, the more you show you want to see Gu Chang'e, the less valuable you are. So now, you just need to keep your usual indifference. That way, you'll have weight in Gu Chang'e's eyes, and he won't look down on you. Do you understand? Jiang Cici lowered her eyes, really? But if I don't look for him, he... Wang Ziqin suddenly stood up, hands on his hips, confidently answering, of course it's true. I've watched many TV shows and read comics, they all say this. Look at him, he's been back for so long and hasn't come to see you, now he's even taking you Mingkong on a honeymoon. Is that fair to you? Jiang Cici looked up at him in confusion, asking, but before, didn't you say you liked him because of his bad boy attitude? Wang Ziqin tightly gripped Jiang Cici's hand, saying seriously, I'm not the same as you, believe me, Gu Chang'e hides things deep, you can't be sure. Cici, you're too pure, easily hurt, but I'm tough, it's fine. Jiang Cici stared into his eyes. Jiang Cici thought of Gu Chang'e's terrifying appearance and said sadly, I know he hides things deeply. The scene shifted to the gate of the Divine Ruins, where Jiang Chen was walking around. The bronze little Zhu spoke. Little godchild, after this period of cultivation, I believe you'll be able to open your spiritual sea soon. Jiang Chen looked at his clenched fist and responded, thanks to Miss Chuyue's help, the Divine Ruins sect never cared for me. If it weren't for her sending medicinal pills. The bronze little Zhu asked curiously, is that woman's identity not simple? Jiang Chen furrowed his brow and looked into the distance, I heard she's a distinguished guest of the Divine Ruins sect, seems to be from the hidden Ji family, here on business. The bronze little Zhu replied, from my observations, it seems she's using the Divine Ruins sect to search for something. There's give and take in relationships. Little godchild, you. At this moment, Ji Chuyue was observing the celestial phenomenon, with multicolored lights flying across the sky. Ji Chuyue thought to herself, strange, why are so many forces coming to this remote place lately? Could it be that the news of the Longtian artifact being born has leaked? I must go see my brother quickly. Jiang Chen hurriedly ran toward Ji Chuyue, raising his hand and loudly calling, Miss Chuyue. She turned around and looked at him, asking in confusion, Jiang Chen, how did you come here? Jiang Chen faced Ji Chuyue and said, if it weren't for Miss Chuyue gifting me the spiritual medicine, my cultivation would probably not have progressed. Such great kindness, Jiang Chen will never forget, and I've come specifically to repay you. Ji Chuyue waved her hand to reject, no need to be polite, I don't need you to repay me. He continued, Miss, you speak too early, to be honest, although my cultivation is low, I have another identity, a divine source master. Ji Chuyue's eyes widened after hearing this, and she asked in surprise, a divine source master? Isn't that a lost art? A divine source master can explore the origin, stabilize the universe, and change fate and luck. Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes and smiled, exactly, my ancestors were once. Before Jiang Chen could finish, Ji Chuyue grabbed his hand and shouted, come with me. Jiang Chen was stunned. Ji Chuyue tightly pulled him into the air, while coldly threatening, this matter is very important, you can't lie to me, or the consequences will be severe. Jiang Chen stared dumbfounded at Ji Chuyue, letting her drag him away, thinking. Foolishly, she smells so good. He quickly responded, of course, I would never lie to you, Mississippi. Ji Chuyue pulled Jiang Chen swiftly toward another place, gripping his hand tightly, and said, this time, if you can help, I'll definitely reward you handsomely. Jiang Chen seriously thought to himself, is this the feeling of flying? The bronze little Zhu laughed loudly, little godchild, once we recover, I'll let you experience divine flying right away. Ji Chuyue led Jiang Chen as they sped through the gate of the divine ruins. A disciple of the divine ruins sect greeted them, fellow Taoists, may I ask what brings you to our divine ruins sect? A disciple stepped forward and said, I've heard that your divine ruins sect is the strongest force here. Recently my master has business here and wishes to stay for a while. The people of the divine ruins sect responded, I see, I'll go report, please wait a moment. Jiang Chen looked down and his eyes widened in shock, realizing, that's. Jiang Chen recognized the person and wondered, how is he here? Standing in front of the God Ruins gate are Gu Changde and Yumingkong, with one of his disciples talking to a sect leader. Gu Changde slightly curled his lips into a smile and then raised his eyes to look at Jiang Chen. He saw that Gu Changde's expression was looking at him, and he couldn't help but be startled, his eyes widening. Ji Shuyue and Jiang Chen quickly left, and Yumingkong turned her head in confusion to ask Changde, husband, what's wrong? He smiled and replied, it's nothing. I just suddenly feel that finding the head of the heavenly tower this time shouldn't be too difficult. Shen suddenly laughed loudly, so it's the young master Changde, I've heard of you for a long time. It's an honor for my sect to have you visit today. I am the sect leader of the God Ruins sect, Shen Gu Changde and Yumingkong helplessly looked at him, and he continued, I assume the person by your side is. Gu Changde squinted slightly and smiled, yes. This is my wife, Princess Yumingkong of the Wushuang Immortal Dynasty. She smiled and spoke. I am from the imperial family, sect leader, there's no need to be overly formal. During this time, Changde and I will trouble you. Shen extended his hand toward the God Ruins sect, sweating profusely but still forcing a smile, Princess Mingkong. You're too polite. It's no trouble for you to stay. If you need anything from the God Ruins sect, just speak up, and I'll certainly assist you with all my strength. Meanwhile, Shen thought to himself, I just hope that this young Master Gu doesn't get angry and destroy my God Ruins sect. The elders in the sect also forced smiles. Gu Changde and Yumingkong walked into the God Ruins sect, and she said, Shen seems to be quite prepared for our arrival. It seems that someone got here before us. Gu Changde calmly replied, it doesn't matter, Mingkong, don't worry. Gu Changde's eyes darkened, but he still smirked, no matter who came first, no matter how many came, as long as they dare to steal my things, then I. Before Gu Changde finished speaking, Yumingkong had already gritted her teeth, more furious than he was. She whispered coldly, kill him. He looked at her, stunned for a moment. Inside the God Ruins sect's residence, a subordinate knelt and saluted Gu Changde and Yumingkong, who were sitting on the bed, greetings, masters. He then gave an order, keep a close watch on that person's movements. If there's any change, report it to me immediately. The subordinate immediately responded, yes, master. He quickly left, and Yumingkong asked in confusion, is this the puppet left by the ancient heavenly venerable? Of reincarnation for the heirs of the immortal ancient continent? Gu Changde calmly answered, Mingkong. You indeed have sharp eyes. Just finding it according to what Fa Changtian gave it is enough. Yumingkong looked at Gu Changde with a helpless expression and continued, so what do we do next? You've arranged everything so thoroughly, why did you still take me so far? Gu Changde turned his head to look at Yumingkong and answered happily, what? Are you not happy to follow your husband? I just want to keep you by my side and never be apart. She lowered her eyes, her tone tinged with sadness. No, it's just that I suddenly feel my methods are not as good as yours, and I feel a bit useless. Yumingkong clenched her fist tightly and continued, I think, if one day your identity is exposed and everyone is your enemy, I might still be able to help a little. Gu Changde quickly extended his hand, pulling her into his embrace, leaving her stunned as she looked up at him, her cheeks flushed. He narrowed his eyes and gently smiled, don't overthink it, that day will never come. Then, Gu Changa's expression turned serious, and he thought to himself, if that day really comes, it will be when I stand unrivaled in the world. On a stone hillside, Jiuxing was floating in the air, cultivating his true energy. Suddenly, the foot of a spiritual beast stepped on the grass, and Chen Ningyi spoke, Taoist brother Jiuxing, long time no see, how have you been? Jiuxing opened his eyes and looked over, then said, Chen Ningyi. Chen Ningyi sat on the back of a fiery spiritual beast, with a few people following her. She asked, this time, your Ji family came quite early. Did you gain anything? Jiuxing quickly stood and responded, not yet. Chen Ningyi suggested, how about we team up, Taoist brother Jiuxing, and divide the spoils after we find the head of heavenly law? He asked in confusion. I'm curious, how did your Chen family know that the head of the heavenly tower was about to appear? Chen Ningyi sneered, in this world, is it only your Ji family that can calculate? Moreover, the forces that have come to the Tianxian vein recently are not just my Chen family. In the distance, Ji Shuiwei and Jiang Chen flew over, and Ji Shuiwei loudly called out, brother. Everyone instinctively looked up, and Chen Ningyi also looked up in confusion. Jiang Chen was dragged past Chen Ningyi, and she silently thought, Ji Shuiwei is here too. Chen Ningyi slightly frowned, looking at Jiang Chen, and silently wondered, who is this man? Her lover. Ku Shuiwei immediately hugged Kunyoxing, brother, I have good news to tell you. Kunyoxing reached out and rubbed Ku Shuiwei's head, smiling as he said, oh. What good news? Ku Shuiwei covered her mouth with her hand and whispered a few words to Kunyoxing. He froze, then asked, him. Jiang Chen just quietly watched the two of them. Chen Ningyi jumped off her spiritual beast and looked at them, saying unhappily, sneaky, is there something you two siblings can't say openly? Ku Shuiwei shouted angrily, Chen Ningyi, shut up, who do you think you are to meddle? Jiang Chen also turned to look at Chen Ningyi, and the bronze little bug spoke, be careful, the backgrounds of both sides are not simple. Jiang Chen glanced at Chen Ningyi and calmly thought, looking at their mounts, indeed not ordinary. It then continued, let's see what they want to do. Ku Shuiwei looked at Kunyoxing and said seriously, brother, today another team of young cultivators from the Shinshu sect arrived. Their aura and cultivation are very strong, we shouldn't underestimate them. Kunyoxing lowered his head and thought, are they from other major sects? Chen Ningyi quickly ran over to the two siblings and asked, hey, Ku Shuiwei, do you know the background of those people? Ku Shuiwei pointed to Jiang Chen, I don't know, I was in a hurry and didn't pay attention, luckily he noticed, and I only then realized. Jiang Chen cupped his hands and respectfully said, I am Jiang Chen, pleased to meet the young master, pleased to meet the fairy. Kunyoxing nodded lightly, Chen Ningyi covered her mouth and laughed, oh, what sweet words you have. Chen Ningyi looked at her seriously, thinking to herself, Ku Shuiwei is still alone, this Jiang Chen must be something off. Then, Chen Ningyi smiled at Kunyoxing and said, brother Nyoxing, I'm very interested in the cultivators that Shuiwei mentioned. Right now, there are no clues about Zhang Tianfa. The more people, the more strength. Kunyoxing calmly asked, you plan to meet them? She countered, what do you think, brother Nyoxing? Kunyoxing glanced at Ku Shuiwei and transmitted, Shuiwei, if what Jiang Chen says is true, as long as we bring him to find Zhang Tianfa, we will have the advantage, no need to. Ku Shuiwei directly interrupted, brother, we still have to go, no matter who they are. Chen Ningyi has already gone, if we don't go, I fear she will cause trouble. Kunyoxing helplessly said, all right, we've been here for more than a month, maybe it's time to change our approach. Chen Ningyi nodded. In agreement, MHM. Jiang Chen was sweating heavily, surprised, thinking to himself, are they planning to team up with Gu Changa? The bronze little bug spoke, little young master, it looks like you should find a chance to tell Ku Shuiwei that you have a grudge with Gu Changa. Jiang Chen frowned and lowered his head, worriedly thinking to himself. Earlier at Shinshu sect, I didn't say it, I didn't expect Miss Shuiwei to be Gu Changa's opponent. The bronze little bug immediately said, of course not. But the Ku family behind her is a different matter. Jiang Chen widened his eyes in surprise upon hearing this. It continued, no matter how you look at it, the Ku family is a former hidden aristocratic family, they wouldn't lack this courage. With your status as a divine Yuan master, as long as she's not foolish, she'll definitely find a way to bring you into the Ku family. Soon, Kun Yoxing, Ku Shuyue, Jiang Chen, and Chen Ningni quickly flew to the front of Shinshu sect. Ku Shuyue asked, where are the young geniuses who came to Shinshu sect today? An elder respectfully cupped his hands and replied, Miss Shuyue, those geniuses are currently resting in the East Side Palace. He turned and walked inside, please follow me, everyone. The elder turned back and warned them, you absolutely must not have any conflict with them. Kun Yoxing smiled faintly, we're just curious, we only want to visit. Chen Ningni's face looked displeased, and she muttered to herself. From the attitude of Shinshu sect, their background is not small. Jiang Chen remained silent, but seemed to have something to say. The two members of the Chen family exchanged glances, then began to communicate via sound transmission. The young man asked. In confusion, what sect is this? Even stronger than our hidden aristocratic family? The woman beside him snorted, I'm curious. 2. Who can make Shinshu sect so wary? After all, Shinshu sect is just a small sect, it's normal to have narrow vision. Jiang Chen turned around and respectfully spoke to Ku Shuyue, bowing his head, Miss Shuyue, I have some trivial matters to handle and can't accompany you. Ku Shuyue was slightly surprised but still replied, all right. The elder began to announce, everyone, the destination is ahead. Suddenly, two energies appeared, one dazzling light and one fiery. Red aura flew from afar, eventually converging into two opposing points. Someone loudly asked, who goes there? State your name. Someone said in surprise, the aura is too strong. The two energies slowly dissipated, and within the light, a black-haired woman appeared, surrounded by several long swords. In the fiery red aura, a man wearing a mask emerged, surrounded by a crimson aura. Everyone looked up, and someone whispered, I wonder who these higher cultivators are loyal to. Kun Yoxing cupped his hands and respectfully said, I am Kun Yoxing from the hidden Ku family, pleased to meet you. Both, fellow Taoists. Chen Ningni also cupped her hands and respectfully said, I am Chen Ningni from the hidden Chen family, pleased to meet you both, fellow Taoists. Kun Yoxing then asked, may I trouble you to send a message? The black-haired woman seriously responded, I vaguely remember the hidden Ku family, but which family is the hidden Chen family? The masked man spoke, Kun Yoxing, all right, you all wait here, I'll go report to the master. Chen Ningni awkwardly smiled, then, please trouble you. She sighed lightly, thinking to herself, from this attitude, this person's identity must be quite significant. Zhang Tianfa's matter is even more mysterious. The masked man quickly reported, Master, the hidden families of the Si family and the Chen family are here to see you. At this moment, Gu Chang'e was lying on the bed, holding Yu Mingkong, resting after a scorching day. He asked, do you want to meet them? She replied tiredly, forget it, I'm not interested. However, Gu Chang'e withdrew his hand and placed Yu Mingkong's head on the pillow. He sat up and said, then you continue resting. Gu Chang'e hurriedly got up, adjusted his clothes, and said, I'll go meet these hidden families. Yu Mingkong kept her eyes closed, continuing to rest. Si Aoxing, Si Shuyue, Chen Ningni, and others were standing outside waiting. The door slowly opened. Gu Chang'e opened the door, his gaze cold, a sharp smile at the corner of his mouth, and asked, what brings you here? The group looked at him in surprise. Someone questioned, Gu Chang'e. How could it be him? This. Another person wondered. Didn't he just destroy Zifu and return to the true immortal academy? I didn't expect this calamity star to be him. Chen Ningni widened her eyes in shock, thinking to herself, it's actually him, the heir of the Changxing Gu family. I've only seen him in the projection stones before. This is the first time I'm seeing him in person.